Shalom, Akim. Shalom, Akim. Give me 1 second. Let me check this real quick. Let me see. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. We good, man. Hey, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Mashiach Yahweh Shah. Double honors to y'all brothers spreading the truth across all four corners of the earth in fullness and sincerity, edifying the sheep. And a big shalom, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah to all you Akim and all you Akwat out there, doing your best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, doing everything possible to make your calling and election sure unto the Most High, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And I got a very important and edifying lesson for y'all, brothers. And it's titled, Never Trust Thine Enemy, Esau, Eve, and the House of Saul. Because Esau, we already know that's our main enemy on this grand stage, on this, on Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah's chessboard. We are of the righteous, Lord willing, we be of the elect. But there's obviously always an adversary, on the side of wickedness, trying to stop the Most High's holy nation, holy lambs. You see what I'm saying? So, you brothers got to obviously understand that. And then, of course, you got the main agent of Esau, Edom, Eve, the so-called Israelite woman, especially the one who's not in the truth, the woman who was supposed to be your helpmeet, the one thing that was supposed to have your back no matter what, the righteous Bonnie to your Clyde. But instead, the vast majority of these women, are on the side of the so-called white men. And then, of course, you got the house of Saul, a.k.a. the house of the wicked. So y'all brothers always got to remember, the battle that we're in. We always in a battlefield. We always in a war field, whether we just chilling or whether we on 10 and there's hell coming upon us all the time. When you remember to never trust thine enemy, you never get caught off guard. And Slaki, let me get that in the book of Sirach. We're gonna go to chapter 12, verse 10. I'm not gonna pull up the scriptures tonight. I'm just gonna read them off the top of my head. So this is Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. It says, "Never trust your enemy, for like as the iron rusteth, so is his wickedness," man. Meaning that his iron is never sharp. His iron is always defiled, man. And that you can never lose sight on that poison that Esau Edom always has. Once a serpent, always a serpent. From the beginning of time through Cain's seed, all the way through the serpent. I mean, actually before Cain, but obviously through the serpent deceiving Eve and Adam. To this time, when we got Esau Edom through who? Joe Biden, Caucasian Jews, them higher ups that's doing whatever they can to keep us at the bottom through all the wicked schemes that they've done through manipulation, through mass murder, mass genocide, mass mind control, mass witchcraft, mass defilement all across the globe, man. They always have that road. There's always going to be somebody wicked on the other side trying to stop you from getting on the right path. That's why you brothers got to always stay sober and be vigilant. So, it's very, very important for y'all to understand. Always trust the Lord over your enemy. Always take the judgment of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, compared to the judgment of your worst enemy. Because the thing that you need to understand, the Most High loves us, but he requires a lot from us. And he tells us what it is straightforward. Compared to Esau Edom, he makes it seem like he loves you. He makes it seem like he really wants you. But in actuality, he was just playing you like a fool. When I was in sales, and there would be times where I would have to switch organizations, switch offices. I would sit back and I would look, and there would be a ton of wolves in sheep clothing. I remember 3 years. There's one time when I found out, that I could make more money and I was going to different places. I would notice that one person would sell me on some bullshit, and another person would sell me on some bullshit, and another person would try to sell me on why their organization is so great and I need to come there. And when I just sat back and I looked at everything, I realized that it was best if I was in my own hand because I have my own power. Now, this is obviously different because this is the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai's movie. But when it comes down to it, you want to go and have the judgment of the Lord. Because if you have the judgment of your worst enemy, that man hates you. You got to understand that. That man does not want to see you shine. That man does not want to see you do good. That man does not want to see you everlasting life, glory, being a hair with Yahweh Shai, Lord willing. He don't want to see you. He want to see you in your cage. He want to see you at the bottom. He wants to see you begging him, saying, "Please, Master, can you help me?" Because that's what gives him fulfillment. because he knows that he's not on our level naturally. So he has to do whatever he can to keep us down. Esau Edom is like that friend that you got that was never really your friend. It was always side-eyeing you and talking shit about you behind your back. And you couldn't realize it until you got older. You know, you was around that friend and you thought he was solid, but he was always saying jokes about your mama. He was always talking bad, saying, "Oh man, you got messed up hairline. No, I don't think that woman really like you." You know, I'm sure y'all brothers know that friend through your adolescence. And as you grew older and you got wiser and gained more discernment because the Most High placed them lenses over you, you started to realize, you know, that dude Danny, he's a piece of shit. And I can't mess with him at all. So that's what you brothers got to understand. So I want to get this scripture in First Chronicles. We can go to chapter 21. And this is an account with David because David was in the same position. When David had unknowingly, numbered his troops and gave a census to his troops without allowing the troops to put a plea offer for their life. Because basically what happened is, if let's say Israel was to go to battle, each individual soldier would have to do some type of offering unto the Lord for their life. Because the Most High, when he placed his spirit upon you, it was to protect you in a time of battle, to protect you from no harm. That's why if you read in Deuteronomy 20, it says when you prepare yourself to go to war, fear not, because the Lord is with you. For you to have the Most High's full protection, you had to do what you had to do in order for him to be on his good graces. Just like right now, before we coming into battle, what are we doing? We're trying to get our works right. We're trying to get our salvation in order. We're trying to get everything in place to the point where when we go out there, we're fully prepared for the battle to come. And we're working day and night to allow the Most High to say, you know what? I deem you worthy. You're going to go out there. You know what, sister? I deem you worthy. I'm going to give you a man who's ahead, and I'm going to protect you in these days. You know, this congregation, I'm loving what this congregation is doing. I'm helping compared to that slothful soldier, the soldier who ain't preparing, the soldier who haven't been reading the game plan. You're not going out there preparing your offering before the Lord. And just like what happened when King David numbered the troops and they wasn't prepared, what happened? Pestilence came upon them and great destruction. So you always want to be at the mercy of the Lord compared to being at the mercy of your enemies. So let's go to the book of First Chronicles. This is chapter 21, verse 1. It says, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. And I'm going to go to verse 7. So basically after, David had David had been deceived by Satan to number his troops. This is what happened. The Most High said, you know what? You sinned against me, because this is stipulation in the law that you're not supposed to number and you're not supposed to have your troops go out to war before they give some type of offering unto the Lord for their life, right? So this is verse 7. It says, and Yahweh was displeased with this thing. Therefore he smote Israel. And David said unto Yahweh, I have sinned greatly because I have done this thing. But now I beseech you, do away the iniquity of your servant, for I have done very foolishly. And the Lord spoke unto Gad, David's seer, saying, go and tell David, saying, thus saith the Lord, I offer you 3 things. Choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto you. So Gad came to David and said unto him, thus saith the Lord, choose thee either 3 years famine, 3 months to be destroyed by your foes, while that the sword of your enemies overtake you, or else 3 days the sword of the Lord, even the pestilence in the land, and the angel of the Lord destroying throughout all the coasts of Israel. Now therefore I advise thyself what word I shall bring again to him that sent me. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Let me fall now into the hand of the Lord, for very great are his mercies. But let me not fall into the hand of man. So when David said that, and when David had that choice between having his own troops get killed or falling into the hands of his enemy, David said, even though I'm a mighty warrior, even though I killed Goliath, even though the Lord has helped me with so many great battles, I know that if the Most High is not with me in this battle, I'm done. And I'd rather be at the mercy of my Lord and deal with pestilence, deal with plagues, deal with tribulation, than be at the hands of the Moabites, the Edomites. Because you got to understand, even though Israel was at we were constantly at war. We were at a very high state when King David was set to rule. But even in that time, King David was like, I'm not stupid enough to try to go against the Lord and to move without the Lord. He wasn't like Saul. You see, Saul was so prideful. He thought that even when the Most High took his spirit away, that he could still go out there and battle. And then what happened with Saul? Next day, cut off, man. Samuel came to he tried to conjure up Saul's spirit. What did Saul say? What did Samuel say? You know you were dead, man. The next thing you know, Saul was dead. So you brothers got to understand, just like David, we in that great strait. We had the opportunity to be with the Lord, and deal with whatever we have to deal with, whether it may be through the camps, whether it may be obviously dealing without food, dealing without water. We may have to go through certain tribulations, letting go of our loved ones and things like that. But you want to know what's better than that? Having to be in this society, being controlled by Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom is coming for our blood. It's called Jacob's trouble, because not just the Israelites who are righteous are going to be judged, but the wicked are going to be judged. And let's go to the book of Amos real quick. This is going to be the book of Amos. We're going to start at chapter 9, and we're going to go to verse 10 or verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sea. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us." So when Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said no corn will fall upon the ground, what he's meaning is that there's not going to be any Israelite left unturned. Every Israelite is going to either be tried and make it through, or every Israelite is going to be tried and killed. It says 2/3 will be cut off and die. The Most High is not, oh, I'm going to spare him and I'm going to, no. If you're not with the Lord, you're completely done. You're completely cut off. So you got to understand, you either going to get, we all got to go in the fire. It's just a matter of who's going to get preserved through the fire and who's going to get burnt off, purged, and destroyed. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to you brothers understanding that, you know that what Esau got planned with DNA manipulation, controlling your assets, controlling where you go, controlling how you think, and eventually you having to deal with the mass persecution of understanding that you are probably, because eventually it's going to be revealed who are the Israelites. And once that's coming, you're going to literally be pounded, taken out of your houses. And even if you quote unquote act as if you're on such a good term with Esau, just look at what Esau is doing to the basketball players and what he's doing to the NFL players, bro. He's torturing them. These even LeBron said it. What's the difference between the code and, you know what I'm saying? They know this is bullshit, getting tested every single day. You got certain brothers who know that they can play perfectly fine, but they purposely have to sit out. Esau is making a mockery of these high-ranking, not only high-ranking athletes, but just high-ranking Jakes in general, man. Because no matter what, they put their full trust in the Masonic lodges. They put their full trust in the fraternities, the women in the sororities, in their craft to be great in Esau society, not realizing that man will never fucking love you. It's like the equivalent of one of y'all brothers going to your ex-girlfriend. She saw you and treated you like shit, and you trying to come back 2-3 years later to prove to her that you're a better man. She will never see you like that. Just like Draymond Green said to to Paul Pierce, you can never be Kobe. They'll never love you like Kobe. Esau Edom ain't gonna love y'all like you his own. So why would you trust this man? That's what I'm trying to get at. Never trust thine enemy. And you also got to understand, when you put your trust in thine enemy, dog, you are making a very grave mistake. Because you want to know what the Most High gonna do to your enemy? All right, well, let's go read some scriptures. I got some scriptures prepared for you. So we can go to the book of Jeremiah first. We're gonna go to chapter 42. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 42. And we'll start at verse 19. The Lord has said concerning you, O remnant of Judah, go you not into Egypt. Know certainly that I have admonished you this day. And how is the Most High talking to us, saying to not go into Egypt? Because obviously this is talking about in that time when Judah was actually trying to deal with a lot of the affliction. The Most High allowed the judgment to come on them. The Most High, spoke through different prophets. First and foremost, when it came with them dealing with the Assyrian captivity for the northern kingdom, and then eventually the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Judea, when they had to deal with the Babylonians from the north. The Babylonians was coming in, ready to assimilate and capture them, and they wanted to go to who? They wanted to go to Pharaoh. They trusted in good old Pharaoh, where they came from the land, where they came from before they came into the land of Canaan. They, there's nothing new under the sun. They want to trust in those false Egyptian idols. They want to make a covenant with death. So the Most High was telling them, don't go to Egypt. And right now we're in Egypt again. We're ready to go into the wilderness, but a lot of our people are still trying to rely on Egypt, still trying to rely on this fiat currency, still trying to rely on a failing system that is clearly failing, clearly being oppressive to you. There was some article in End Time Headlines, and it could have just been propaganda, but there was an article stating that basically there's a lot of Americans out there who are begging for a pseudo police state in order to quote unquote fight COVID. Now, we don't know if that's propaganda. It more than likely is, but there are a lot of crazy ass people who are fully compliant with the agenda. When I'm giving people food and they have, you know what, and I'm like, hey, you want your food? She's like, oh, I can't open the door. I'm on quarantine. Like, these niggas is on full-fledged house arrest because they got a cold. You see what I'm saying? That mind control is real. And a vast majority of our people are falling into that mind control. They're believing that lie from the man of perdition. You see what I'm saying? And they're putting their full trust into Esau, Edom. Why? Because they drunk off the iniquity. Let's go to the book of Revelation. We'll start at 18, verse 3. It states, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the king of earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And what is a delicacy? A sweet taste. You know, a little toasted strudel pastry with the perfect icing. When you eat it, it's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? You feel good. Like, where you get this from? You know, a lot of us come from poverty. So some of y'all brothers may have been living in the hood. Some of y'all may have never got shit from your parents. And now you getting to that age, you 19, 21, 23, you seeing how much money can be made in America. You got Bitcoin, you got trade school. You don't have to go and slave for 4 or 8 years and go thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into debt. If you have some type of talent, you can, you know, manifest that and be a huge star. But the thing that you need to understand is that you get drunk off of the mirth of being in such a wicked, corrupt society that a lot of times you lose focus on what's going on. You know, let's go to the book of Isaiah. We'll start at chapter 28 real quick. It reads, this book of Isaiah chapter 28 verse 7, it reads, but they also have erred through wine and through strong drink, are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. And again, when you go to Psalms chapter, I think it's 149 verse 17, where it says, he showeth his laws, his statutes, and his judgments unto Israel. He had not known any other family on the earth. You need to understand the judgment of this place and what's to come. And if you have the spirit on you thinking that, damn, I hope this lasts another 5 to 10 years. Man, it was good while it lasted. Man, this society is so cool. These women is so bad. You honestly, you had a spirit of error, because the spirit of truth is what? To see the false reality of what's going on around you. To see that Rome, the reincarnated Roman Empire, is falling. And for you to understand that I got to free myself from it. Through what? Through hearkening on to the Most High and the word stipulated in his holy book. And if not, you're going to continue to be drunk and wax worth until that liver get too it gets too over pumped and oversaturated with alcohol that you can't clean out your system, and eventually you sign that covenant with death and you die spiritually. Once the famine of the word comes, once the MOB comes and you take it, once all these jabs get activated inside of you and you become a flesh and blood zombie, flesh and blood android, by then, my boy, it's too late. It's too late to apologize. You know, you're gonna be like Maroon 5 out here singing the damn cassette album, bro. So, you know, you brothers got to be very careful, because at the end of the day, don't think that Esau Edom is on 10 and this wasn't the Lord. Man, the Most High allowed that man to get to where he's at right now. And just like the Most High giveth, the Most High is sure going to take it away, especially from Esau Edom. Let's go to the book of Job chapter 38, verse 36. It says, who has put wisdom in the inward parts, or who has given understanding to the heart? And who has given you the spirit of Sophia, aka the spirit of wisdom, for you to be able to understand the truth about the world? Who's been able to give you the understanding on these breakdowns? Who's been able to give you the understanding to be able to not only hear prophecy, but to be able to digest and accept prophecy? You see, a lot of Israelites like to hear, I'm an Israelite, I can wear fringes, I can have multiple wives, but a vast majority of Israelites hate to hear that women need to shut the hell up, no disrespect, that a lot of your friends and families ain't worth anything and will never make it in this world, in the world to come, Salakia, and that, to be quite honest, that you might have to give everything that you want on this side to obtain everlasting life on the next side. And that's the thing that you don't understand, is that if the Most High is not giving you that spirit, then where you gonna get it from? You can't just read a book in the Bible and find it. I mean, in the library and find it. Some people read the Bible to try to understand it, but if you're not giving that spirit on you, if you haven't gotten that inward understanding inside to be able to circumcise your mind, then what the hell is the point of you even being in this truth? I mean, you can't even be in the truth if you don't have that. And one key stipulation of the truth is to fully submit yourself unto the ways of the Lord. Because if you're not fully submitted, then you're not in. Again, what do the scriptures say? Let's go to the book of Revelation. I think it's 3 and 14. This is the book of Revelation, Salakia 3 and 16, or verse 15. It says, I know thy works that you are neither cold nor hot. I would doubt you were cold or hot. But because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew you out of my mouth. Meaning what? The Most High said, look, you on my team and you on Esau's side. You on the side of righteousness, on wickedness. You on the side of fully submitting and supplicating yourself to my vision and to what I have planned. Or you're going to be on the opposite end and you're going to be a part of the sinners. You're going to be killed and you're going to be destroyed. It's that simple. You could pick chocolate, vanilla, choose. It's that simple. It's not no, oh, I want some chocolate and I want no, nigga. You got to make a choice, man, because the longer you put off of making that choice and fully submitting yourself, there's gonna come a time where there's no going back. Again, that train gonna be all aboard to the New Jerusalem, and you're gonna be left in a dying society, man. And there's not gonna be no more room left on the train once the train is filled up, because the train ain't an unlimited train that we all can get on. Now, this ain't the Tower of Babel, Playboy. It's an exclusive club. You know what they say in the club? What do? They got the little thing. You got the bouncer. He looking at you from head to toe. Okay, you got some nice shoes. You looking decent. You looking decent. All right, I'm gonna let you in, right? If you know the passcode, right? The Most High is the same way. He's looking at you, looking at all your work, seeing, okay, what have you did? What did you do on Tuesday? What you do on Sunday? Are you really the man you say you are? Let me evaluate you. Turn around. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. And I'm going to see how you react to what I'm giving you. And at the end of the day, if I don't deem you worthy, you're not welcome into my club. Give me 1 second. All these damn trolls on YouTube, man. But getting back into the main point, and the biggest person that you can never trust, especially in these days, is Esau, Edom. Because if you put your trust in the devil, you always going to get burned. You always going to get deceived, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 30. We'll start at verse 1. It states, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. And these are who? Those people who love to go to your favorite Baptist church. They love to turn on TDJ Sunday morning. They up early morning, cooking they bacon, getting ready to dance and shout to the Lord, but they ain't opened up the Bible in 3 months, talking about, oh, this is God's doing. God told me to take the jab. God's telling me that the MOB that the MOB means money over bitches. Like, you know, it's so much crazy stuff going on out there, man. There's so many crazy deceiving spirits that if you're not careful, you can run into the folly. And that's why I said they take counsel, but not of me. You got a lot of these people going to the church and asking them, hey, what's going to happen in the future? Is 19 going to last forever? They're like, no. Even though they don't, these big major pastors who sign 501(c)(3)s, which is why they don't get taxed and why they don't have to pay any type of taxes, but they're free, they have free business to indoctrinate you with false understandings of the scriptures. That's why they're still in business. A lot of these people are taking counsels, and what's the main thing that they're doing? They're covered, but not of my spirit. And they really have the Satan of what? Baal. The Satan of what? I mean, the spirit of what? Mammon. The spirit of what? Jezebel. The spirit of what? Amos. You got all these damn male simps who literally give their wife their whole wallet. The wife give the pastor $50 and take the rest and do what she wants with it. They're committing sin upon sin upon sin upon sin every day, praying to an idol, praying to a damn devil. You see what I'm saying? Eating pork every other day. You know, I used to love bacon, but I can't eat that shit. You think I'm gonna get judged? You think I'm gonna sacrifice my chance in the kingdom because I like to eat bacon? I had to get rid of that, man. I had to get rid of a lot of things. But these people, they don't pay no mind. They have no understanding. These people say, oh, the only commandment is to love thy neighbor, and that Jesus loved us so much that we can still sin because sin is abolished. Nope. Hey, you know, you're going to suffer sin upon sin, and that's what's going to be led to your downfall and your destruction. And it's not just that, you know, they're being deceived, but they choose to be deceived because they like to hear, you know, you got to understand, when it comes to the state of people, you know, when you always hear about the mountains, you hear upon the high hills in the heavens compared to the pit, compared to hell, compared to a low valley, things like that. That's always about a state. And when you look at a false prophet, more often than not, a false prophet always has a high estate. I have a very, 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 very low estate. You see me in my kitchen. You see that the internet doesn't have the highest pixelation, but then you got TD Jakes. He got a 500-yard meter. He got a jumbotron in his screen, damn near as big as the Cowboys Stadium jumbotron. You see, our people, they love vanity. They love to do things to make it seem as if they're on a higher level because they're a part of some rich congregation that has all these programs to quote unquote help the community. Well, let's read Isaiah chapter 30, verse 7. It says, "For the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still." Meaning what? The Egyptians' purpose is to not help you. Joe Biden's purpose is to not help you. Kamala Harris's purpose is to not help you. They don't give a fuck about you, man. And that's the hardest reality for our people to understand, that white people just don't love you. Asian people just don't love you. For you black men, the vast majority of these black women don't love you, and they never will. They don't see you like that. They'll never see you like that. The only way somebody who's seen you as the bottom for so long to see you at the top, it has to, like Judah says, it has to be a mass traumatic event. You want to know what's going to be the most mass traumatic event in the history of human history? When Yahweh Shem Yahushua judges the entire world and kills off the vast majority of the population, they're going to see you as a king that day, if it be the Lord's will. Let's go to the book of Amos real quick. We'll go to chapter 8, verse 11. This is the book of Amos, chapter 8. We'll start at Salakia. I meant 5 and 18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light." And that's when people are going to really start to understand the power of the Most High. That's when they're going to really start to understand who are his chosen in that day. When these lowly, harsh-speaking, don't know what they're talking about, conspiracy theorists, Israelites actually come out on top. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. But until then, they're going to go to those people who help them in vain, those people who love to lie, manipulate them, and tell them that the economy is fine. Going to the man who tells them, hey, just buy a new house, the economy is booming, not realizing that behind the scene, the housing market is in the biggest bubble ever. We're in the biggest debt ceiling ever, but they're saying that the economy is improving. There's more help wanted signs than ever, but they're out here telling you that we're making a full economic recovery. Okay. Telling you that the food is going to be fine. We just had a little thing. But when you go to the supermarket, that shit ain't showing you the same thing. The food don't taste the same. The fast food doesn't taste the same. But everything's supposed to go back to normal. And you were the same man who just told me that I'm only going to be in my house for 2 weeks dealing with this 19. And now I've been in my house coming up on 2 years. So when you realize that, you remember Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. And I actually made a video of the Boondocks in regards to King, because King was appointed by your enemy, Martin Luther King Jr. And ever since he came and started that movement, you'll sit here and say we got more freedom on the surface, but deep down, we got more and more entangled in Esau's lies through manipulation, through the TV screen, the radio, the drug epidemic, having informants in our own communities. Taking the father out the house, promoting mass abortion, mass killing of black babies, especially black boys, empowerment of liberal women with no type of direction. Let me just get into that, man. This is the book of Isaiah, and let me read Isaiah chapter 31. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 31. We'll start at verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots." And it's real quick, for those of y'all who read this and you have these damn bug outs talking about this isn't talking about the chariots of the Lord. This is talking about the chariots back in the day of Egypt. And in modern time, these trusting in the chariots are trusting in Esau's military force. Because at the end of the day, when that WW3 comes, Esau's going to be drafting a lot of people. A lot of our people, quiet as kept, a lot of our people have no other option but to go into military for some type of assistance. You best believe that Esau is going to feed them damn soldiers, right? So, it says, "Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots." And shout out to my brother Yonde, man, because that brother, enlisted into the army, and the brother had the opportunity to, make the bag, but he out here dealing with all type of crazy stuff because he's not willing to take the jab. He's willing to be a fucking outcast because he doesn't trust in Egypt. All y'all brothers who's not taking the jab so you can be a part of the system and make money, you're not trusting in Egypt. But for those y'all on the fence wavering, you're trusting in fucking Egypt, man. And you're going to get killed and destroyed. Because what did the Most High say? "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horse, because they are very strong. But they look not upon the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Yet he is also wise and will bring evil and will not call back his word, but will arise against the house of evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. So for those of y'all who wanted to continue to live in this society, it may not happen right now. You may look like, damn, these people, they got the juice, they all good, they ride in the sunset, they taking trips to Dubai, they taking trips to Mexico, these women thotting it up in Jamaica, you know, with their quote unquote sneaky links in Jamaica and all this stuff. But it's all going to catch up to you. The Most High is going to bring every work into light. And like the scriptures say, the Most High is not to be mocked. He is not a God to be mocked. Whatever a man sows, whatever a man reaps. So all that iniquity that these people been going on for years and years and months and months and months, the Most High is just putting your ass on a silver platter and ready to cut you open like a damn. I ain't even gonna say it because that's a damn abomination holiday. I ain't even gonna say that damn turkey, man. That's an abomination. But I want to continue on verse 3. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not Yahweh, and their horses are flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth him shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. So for the vast majority of our people that love this man Esau like he's their father, like he's their quote unquote spiritual father, we got a lot of Jake women who love to speak with so-called white pastors and go and ask how their relationship is doing. And even these black pastors, man, these damn deacons who be popping everybody in the congregation. All those damn wicked ass people, all these wicked celebrities who behind the scenes are in bed doing spiritual fornication with a lot of these Caucasians, man. These Caucasians are going to get killed and destroyed, man. The Most High is going to seek vengeance upon anybody who wants to worship this man like a god. Let's go to the book of 2 Thessalonians. We go to Second Thessalonians chapter 2. And we'll read chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And the man of sin will be revealed, the son of perdition. And through research, through understanding, through patience, through time, we're starting to understand who that man is. That man that wants our men to be women and our women to be men, and all of our people to submit to his will because we're a quote unquote color of death. We're so-called black, so we need to vote for this fucking party that's been lying and manipulating to us for decades and decades and decades and decades, man. That makes no damn sense. Let's continue on. It says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And this is in reference to Esau trying to sit in the seat of the Lord, because the Lord is what? The Lord is what? He's your protector. He's your God. He's the one that you worship. He's the one that you give reverence. Eventually, Esau is going to flip the mask off and show you how much he wants to be worshipped, how much he wants to be thanked. That's why when you go to the book of Revelation, you start at chapter, I think it's 13? Yes, it's 13, verse 15. It says, and he had the power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. So just like the Most High said that those who would not allow me to rule over them shall be purged, well, Esau's trying to do the same thing. And he's starting with these little mandates. And he don't give a damn how you feel about them. He don't care if it sounds fair, if it doesn't. He just knows that this is my agenda, and either you're going to be a part of it or your ass going to get killed in one way, shape, form, or another. If you're not getting killed outwardly, we're going to kill you with the food. We're going to kill you with the manipulation. We're going to kill off your old and your young. The scripture says, Deuteronomy chapter 28, I forgot it says where it says there will be an enemy upon you who won't spare the old nor the young. The Most High will spare the old and the young. He's a father to the fatherless, and he's a support to the widow. You see what I'm saying? But Esau don't give a damn about that, and he don't give a damn about your people, man. So when it comes down to this understanding, when it comes down to what we're really dealing with, you either have the option to trust in the Most High, the all-powerful, the Almighty, the one who can't be challenged, or the one who's actually supposed to be at the bottom of society. And who's going to be at the bottom of society? And anybody else who follows him is going to be at the bottom with him. I mean, let me get this in the book of Revelation. Hey, shalom, y'all, the Nico. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Barakah. This is the book of Acts chapter 20. Well, actually, I'll get it a little bit later. I'm going to read that a little bit later. So that's just something that y'all brothers got to understand, especially if, you kind of on the fence and you don't really know what you need to be doing. and you have this Christian mindset, because the Christian mindset is the devil. The Christian mindset wants you to believe that the Most High has always blessed this nation, but we're just going off and we're getting away from the Lord, and we just need to come back to our values as a Christian. Nah, that's all bullshit, man. The Most High never loved this place. The Most High wanted to destroy this place from the beginning. Once those people came over and terrorized and defiled the land by slaughtering our people in masses and allowing the land to be polluted with blood, man, with the transgressors, with the people who were transgressing, man. So at the end of the day, man, if you put your trust in a society like this, you in for a long ride, man. You're gonna be like that brother, what's that dude name? The dude who be doing the collapse videos. Damn, I forgot his name, but it's the white dude with the shaved head. He wearing the glasses. Damn, Jeremiah Bay, man. You're gonna be like one of them. You're gonna be like a Jeremiah Bay, brother. You're gonna be checking your phone like, oh, is America gonna fall today? Oh Lord, America's about to fall. What's going to happen to my 401? Who gives a fuck about your 401k, man? Now don't get it twisted. If you got those things, I mean, do what you gotta do, but never put your heart and your soul into something that's carnal, into something that's temporary, because it will never ever work out for you. Hey, Shalom, bro. Hey, I hope you've been good, bro. Just appreciate you checking up. So I want to read this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19. It says, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord will ride it upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And what are those idols? Again, those who believe in Allah, those who believe in quote unquote Buddha, Vishnu. They set up these different statues. Those who believe in these ancient Kemetic gods, those people behind the scenes who are practicing left-handed witches, who quote unquote say they're a good witch and a bad witch. They're doing these seances. They're posting shit on TikTok. They're trusting in the astrology and all these things. And of course, the biggest idol is that damn wood idol, which is who? That man hanging on the cross, aka Tammuz, man. That's the biggest idol. All those people who worship those idols are going to be moved. They're going to be shooken. Let's go to verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight one against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And this is going to be the same period as what happened when Daniel was prophesying to Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar had the sorcerers, he had the charmers, he had the wizards, he had all these people who were giving him false understandings before that he believed was real, all until Daniel came up to him that day and said, none of this is true. They all had the dream. He was willing to kill any man who couldn't understand it. All the wise men were going to be killed. But Daniel came up and he told him the prophecy. And he told him about how his own demise was going to come. He told him that he was going to get destroyed by the Persian Median Empire. You know, at the end of the day, Daniel was just speaking the Lord's given unto him giving the words unto him by the Most High. And that's the same thing going on right now. You getting different counsels, people asking what's going to happen? Why is this happening? When am I going to get out of this quote unquote predicament? And the only people out on the streets preaching the truth is those men of the Lord. The men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua willing to stand for this testimony no matter what, no matter how much people hate it, why we're telling people, hey, you're going into slavery, bro. There ain't nothing you can do. And I'm finna get into that, boy. I'm finna tear up Esau tonight, boy. But getting back into the point, let's go down to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14. It says, the Lord Yahweh has mingled a perverse spirit, meaning a lying spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to error in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And a lot of y'all may be wondering, like, why are we, low on food? Why are we low on, just basic supplies, even though there's so many workers in America? How could America, of all the places, be low? Because the Most High is placing that spirit. He's placing that spirit of confusion. The scripture in Ezra said it will be, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see. I don't know off the top of my head, but there is a scripture in Ezra that talked about how this time period will be a time of great chaos and confusion. And it's just because that spirit is being pushed upon the people. The fact that people are being irrational and quitting their jobs. And don't get it twisted. A lot of people understand the truth about the jab, but it doesn't matter if you quit your job, bro. If you're not of the nation of Israel, or you're not willing to be a slave under subjection of the nation, then bro, you quitting your job and installing for the jab is a waste of time. The Most High just put a spirit of delusion on your ass to think that white Jesus is gonna come and rapture your ass up before times get hard. You see what I'm saying? But also he's placing the spirit of laziness on the people, of delusion on the people, of I don't want to do anything in this society, and that's why you see the help wanted signs everywhere. And shout out to Watchmen for Israel, because I watched one of their lives last week about the about a lot of the shortages when it comes to the workers, and they were basically using that scripture to show like, hey, you know, this is the reason why so many people aren't able to work in America, is because the Most High is placing a heavy spirit of delusion and a heavy spirit of slothfulness to stop the country from functioning like how it has for decades and decades and decades, because the Most High is speeding up America's fall. You know, he's shortening the days for the elect. Now I want to continue on. I want to get let me see real quick. Give me 1 second. I'll get verse 15. It says, neither shall there be any man, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which shaketh over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention shall be afraid in himself, because the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he had delivered, which he had determined against it. So anytime, you know, Israelites go out there and speak about the downfall of this society, you got people scared, people shaking in their boots. You got brothers out on the street saying that America's going to be destroyed, World War III finna happen. These people is terrified, man, because their only existence is tied into this society. They got full trust in their boo, Mystery Babylon, and they think that she's going to be that faithful woman. You know how in marriage they say they will last forever, everlasting marriage. You know, these Disney movies where the man marries the woman and they just ride off into the sunset and they're happy forever. Well, unfortunately for the vast majority of you Americans, you didn't realize that America was a whore. What is the quality of a whore? She's good. She's good for a good time, but a very, very short time. And unfortunately, America, you're run by Esau Edom, and he don't know how to run his empire. It's gonna last 200-300 years tops, and then the motherfucker's gonna go back to the bottom in the caves, in the pits, like he so rightfully deserves to be. That's just his lot, man. And whether you like it or not, it is what it is. So this is what the Lord's going to do to this kingdom, which is why you should never trust in this kingdom. This is Isaiah 13 and 19. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Meaning the Most High is going to obliterate and fully destroy this place from every fabric, man. The Most High is going to give the worst judgment upon any nation. This is going to be the only, outside of, you know, them 2 cities in Japan, this is going to be the only nation that's going to be completely obliterated with nuclear thermal fire. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of nukes that have never been shot out to destroy an entire civilization. But America is going to be the one. And you want to put your trust in this empire, you will be a damn fool. That's like the equivalent of a man marrying a woman who's a known prostitute for 20, 30 years, and yet you just feel desperate at the end that you just going to marry her because you need a woman, not realizing that she's on her last leg by far. That's what America, you will be a fool in 2022 to invest your all into this society and think that this society is going to be around for 20 years and think that the American dollar is as strong as it's ever been in the economy. Bro, you got to understand, even regular people in the world know that America is not what it once was. You got China eating on it, Russia eating on it. You got these Middle Eastern countries allowing America to continue to pump their oil. That's why when the pandemic first happened, oil was so low, because all of these countries in OPEC, right? They were just dumping barrels, destroying a lot of American oil industries that, you know, were giving a lot of people jobs. And then, of course, Joe Biden, the first week he came in, he did what? He turned off the Keystone National Pipeline. That's why your gas is up $1 in less than 12 months. Because Joe Biden is doing the will of the Most High. It's his job to destroy America as fast as possible. There's a reason why from the time of 2016 to the time of 2022, or the time of 2000, I think it was 8 to 2022, the debt has skyrocketed, $29 trillion. And you think that this society is going to be around for another 10, 15 years? I mean, we'll see. But I don't like my chances. So that's why I'm not putting my eggs in that basket. I'm not putting my eggs into the Queen of Heaven, Astarte. I'm putting all my hope, all my faith into the Lord, man. This is the book of Isaiah. We're gonna go to chapter 14, verse 20. It says, I'll read verse 12. It says, "How are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How are you cut down to the ground, which did is weaken the nations? For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh." And this is in the time of the 60s, the 40s to the 80s. America emerged as that top dynasty, that top empire. They had full rule, the iron fist ruling over Japan, dropping nukes on Japan, invading South Korea invading Korea to try to stop North Korea from coming in and setting up communism. Vietnam, the Iraq War, the Afghani War, the Cold War with the USSR, sending their missiles up to the quote unquote to the moon. You see what I'm saying? Being the first nation to ever land on the moon. Well, that vacate is gone, man. It's not here anymore. And that's what this is talking about. The nations can sense it. Us in this society can sense it. This thing is almost up. Let's go to verse 20. So it says, "You shall not be joined with them in burial, because you have destroyed your land and slain your people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare for slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with the cities." So the man that a lot of these Israelites, a lot of our people who love to just sing song and dance with Esau, Edom, not realizing that that man that they're putting their trust in, the Most High is going to personally purge and kill and take his babies and take his kids and dash their head against rocks, man. He's going to literally go to annihilate and destroy these people. So why the hell would you sign a covenant and sign your life away to be a part of his society, bro? That makes no sense. You know, the Most High not playing with them. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. And we'll go to the book of chapter 17, verse 22. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, I will also take of the highest branch of the high cedar and will set it. I will crop off from the top of his young twigs a tender one, and will plant it upon a high mountain eminent." And that's the Most High's branch, man. Through who? Through Yahweh Shai, man, his son. And he was allowing that branch to be set up on high. Why? Because the highest branch on the tree is the one that's the most exalted, it's the most loved, and everybody underneath, all the other trees, aka all the other nations, are going to be able to see that branch stemming through, obviously Yahweh Shai, his 12 disciples, the 144,000, Judah, and then the other tribes underneath it, man. And all the other nations is going to be in full subjugation to us. Verse 23, I'll continue on. It says, "In the mountain of the height of Israel will I plant it, and I shall bring forth boughs and bear fruit, and be a goodly cedar, and under it shall dwell all the fowls of every wing. In the shadow of the branches thereof shall they dwell." So for those of y'all brothers, man, you got to put your trust in something that you can't fully see. You can only read, imagine, and meditate on it day and night until that time where the vision is truly fulfilled. Until the vision is fulfilled, you're not going to fully understand the magnitude of how much love and acclaim and glory, whatever you want, that the Most High is going to give you if you be of his elect. But at the end of the day, you should always have your mind focused on those things. Always have your mind focused on these dark parables and prophecies, meditating on the law, doing the best and doing whatever you can to make your calling and election sure. This isn't the time to get off the gas pedal, because the thing you need to understand is, essentially, we're like a Need for Speed race, right? You know how you doing a little drifting, you racing, you running. And you know how you ever watched Too Fast, Too Furious, Locking, not Need for Speed, Too Fast, Too Furious. You know the scene where Paul Walker had to hit the nitro and shift into the final gear so he could lift up and make it into that boat? Well, essentially, we about to prepare for liftoff. We about to leave off the ground, and we about to be in the space, in the area that we're going to be unsure if we're going to land, if we're going to make it. That's when we're into the great unknown, when all these afflictions and all these persecutions come upon us in Jacob's trouble. We're going to be floating in the air. And the only thing that's going to save us is that spirit that we can't see, that spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, there to protect those who are deemed of his elect. You know what I mean? So, when you guys get that understanding, you understand that you're going to be this. Verse 24, it says, "And all of the trees of the field shall know that I, the Lord, have brought down the high tree," meaning what? All the other nations, all the trees, Moab, Ammon, Canaan, Hamites, the the Japheth, I can never pronounce their name. Japheth, Japheth and his seed, and all the other nations of the earth shall know that he brought down the high tree, which is what? Esau, Edom, who ruled over every other tree, every other nation. And he exalted the low tree and have dried the green tree and have made the dry tree to flourish. The dry tree is what? The tree that has no water, no nourishment, that's low to the ground, aka the Israelites that are low to the ground, had no knowledge, had no spiritual water, had no understanding of who they are, thought that they were niggas their entire life. The rebel rousers, the proverbs, the ones that they would laugh on their TV whenever you go to every other nation, Japan, China, they're taking pictures because you a damn laughing stock compared to all the other nations. They're going to know in that day that the Most High did that. That's why you got to have your trust, and you got to always remember that, because the Most High is going to do that for those that he deems worthy. But if you want to, like I said, if you want to trust in Esau, Edom, I mean, hey, be my guest, man. But you taking a losing battle, man, when you do stuff like that. This is Amos chapter 9, I'll read verse 1. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar, and he said, smite the lintel of the door, that the post may shake, and cut them in the head, all of them. I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to the heaven, thence will I bring them down. And this is talking about in that day of the Lord's judgment. You can't run to heaven. You can't run to the space station and think that all the plagues not going to hit you. Because why? Yahweh Shai, Michael the archangels, all the other holy archangels is going to come and wreak havoc, throw all that stuff to the ground. You can't dig into the earth and get a supernatural bunker that's going to stop you from all the nukes that's going to hit. Because what are we? We're going to go from fishers to hunters. We're going to be hunting you, looking for blood, ready to ravish and put you in a hardcore slavery, man. So if you don't understand what's to come of that man Esau Edom, bro, I don't know what to tell you, because, hey, I'm going to read this in Obadiah, verse 17. It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possession. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. And they of the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken. So the man that you put your trust in is going to literally be wiped out from existence after he's in hardcore subjection and slavery for 1,000 years, man. If that's not enough to tell you that the Most High not playing no games with him, I don't know what to say. But getting on from Esau Edom, we done demolished Esau for the last 40 minutes, man. Now we need to get on to the never trust thy enemy, because one thing that a lot of brothers can't understand is that the vast majority of these women are your enemy. Whether you want to believe it or not, there's going to come a point in time in this truth where there's going to be a specific woman, whether it might be in your family, it might be the woman that you're sleeping with every night, it may be a best friend, where she's going to come and she's going to come in between you spiritually, getting a true understanding. And you're going to have to see that woman for what it was. I'm not sitting here telling you to be a damn, I'm not telling you to be a eunuch. I'm not telling you to follow a restraining order over every woman in your life. But what I am telling you is to understand that the nature of the woman, and to never trust the nature of the woman, because she always has that role of Eve. She always has that apple in her hand, those strange doctrines that she was taught up for centuries and centuries and centuries, to try to get power from the Israelite man, to try to, control the household, to try to control the children, to try to tell you to come to church, to try to tell you that you are your own God and that you don't need to believe in the Bible, and, you need to get these orbs and these crystals and things like that. Hey, man, remember this. Let's go to the book of Sirach. We'll start at chapter 25 and verse 24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die, which is the exact same reason. Because the vast majority of women, obviously they're attuned to sin, they're attracted to sin. And again, Amos 3:3, can two be together lest they be in agreed? And who's the man of sin? Esau, Edom. And who's always working with her constantly to try to get you in that playpen, to try to keep you in that locked cage? A lot of these women, man. Hey, Shalom, he said, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah. Hey, Shalom, bro, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah to you, bro. So, you brothers got to understand that, because, again, if you need to understand something, whenever you move in society, whenever you're buying a car, whenever you're buying a house, one thing you always learn in sales is that there's always a customer who will have their guard up, and they're waiting for a certain period of time before they can truly relax and be who they are, right? Well, you as a man in this society, you got to always have your senses around. You got to always be searching, surveying, and looking and seeing what people's intentions are for you. Because at the end of the day, when you're in your captivity, not your rest, you got to always be on high alert. Just like you're not going to act in a jail cell compared to how you are when you're in your bed at night. When you're in your bed at night, you at complete comfort, complete rest. When you're in the jail cell, you with a dude you don't even know, a dude who might be a head case. He might have just killed 3 people, and you go to sleep, you rest your head. Next thing you know, the nigga, boom, boom, boom. You got the warden coming in. You got the other inmates coming in. You basically always looking around for your life, and that's the same thing. We're in a vast spiritual prison all across the world, all across the globe. And until the Most High sends Yahushua to lift those curses, lift those spiritual restrictions on us, we got to always stay vigilant, right? And again, what do the scriptures say would be your enemies in these times? Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. It states, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead you cause you to error and destroy the way of thy path. The Lord standeth up to plead and standeth to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof. For you have eaten up the vineyard, the spoil of the poor is in your house. So when you read those scriptures, what does it say? Children rule over you, aka the chaotic nature of Esau Edom. Women rule, children oppress you, and women rule over you. So the vast majority of you women who came from matriarchs, who came from under your mom's, breast disease, your grandmother's breast disease, a lot of y'all who came under the impression that you could put your all into a woman, that you can trust a woman and, build your whole life and take advice from a woman, you're starting to learn that those things are vastly detrimental to your health, not profitable whatsoever. And also in verse 14, it says what? It says, the Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people, meaning those who, with third, fourth generation, your grandfather, even a lot of y'all fathers, man, they erred because they never got no understanding. They're like the equivalent of Proverbs. I think we'll go to chapter 17. Salakia, Proverbs chapter 7. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 7, and we'll read verse 6. It says, for at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and behold, among the simple ones, I discerned among the youth a young man void of understanding. And a lot of the men in your family, whether you like it or not, your uncle, your OG on the block, all these people, they lacked understanding. That's why they love to worship women. That's why they love to tell you, stay out the streets, don't do what I did, but they tell you to go to college and get a 8-year degree with no plan with it. They tell you to do all these things. They tell you, you got to live by a fucking street code, but they don't tell you anything that actually allows you to progress because they had no wisdom, because the vast majority of our people in this generation have heavy, heavy curses that were placed upon them to keep us at the bottom. So everything is flipped upside down. We used to live in a society where you go to a man in the third, fourth generation, your great-grandfather, your grandfather, your grand-uncle, or a quote-unquote OG from the past who has some type of sense and some type of understanding. He might be able to put you in a trade. He might be able to take you under his wing, allow you to be an apprentice. Now you got the third and fourth generation who have been a factory worker. That shit ain't going to work in 2022. You got these same people saying, oh, yeah, I took them to jab for 20, 30 years, never had nothing happen. Oh, yeah, 2000. They had Y2K. They had 2012. Oh, this quote-unquote end of the world theory is nothing because, again, the roles have been flipped. You can also get that in the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 3. It says, and I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. So because that spirit of revelry and disorder has gone through Israel, it's gone to the point where the OGs, where the elders in spirituality is younger than the vast majority of men. The vast majority of men in this truth and understanding, don't get it twisted. There are older elders, especially from like GMS. I don't really watch a lot of these other camps, but a lot of young men are the ones who are leading the people, man. You got 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds. The vast majority of y'all brothers on my page are very, very young in age. You're being led by brothers, who just got out of their adolescence, who just got into the prime of their life, because that's the people who have the understanding. That's who the Most High has given mercy upon. And in this day and age, that's why the scripture said it is better to be like a babe, because the Most High is giving that understanding to those who have a blank slate. He's not giving the understanding to somebody who's been in a Christian church for 30 years and thinks they understand the Bible when they don't know shit. No disrespect, but it's just the honest truth. You know? And honestly, the reason why the Most High doesn't give this understanding to a lot of the older generations is because a lot of them sold out, man. A lot of the older generation love Esau, bro. Whether they believe it or not, man, they can't imagine themselves in a society where they're not taking orders and direction from Esau. And it's unfortunate, you know, it comes from that slave culture. It comes from being, you know, emasculated by the society everywhere you came and a lot of trauma. But at the end of the day, man, we need people who are willing to stand up to Esau, not people who's willing to move at his beck and call no matter what he says. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 34. We'll read verse 2. It says, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and saying to them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? And the vast majority of these pastors from Baptist church and, you know, I don't even, bro, I ain't no damn, I ain't never been to a Christian, I've been to a Christian church in so long, like a real church. I mean, they all fake anyway, but, you know, like, you know how you be in the church, you be going every other week or every week, whatever. Bro, I haven't consistently gone to a church in years, man. But the vast majority of those men who hold, quote unquote, read the Bible and study the Bible, man, they ain't all in on their own, man. TD Jakes is making a fucking killing, man. TD Jakes is a damn abomination. But TD Jakes gonna get what he deserved. He a Jake. You know he a Jake. So he gonna get what he deserved. He wanted to sign that covenant with death. Again, the Most High is gonna allow every man to sow what he reapeth. You see what I'm saying? Because again, Matthew, we go to 6 verse 24. It says, No man can serve two masters, for either will hate one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You can't serve the Most High and mammon. You can't be a man of the Lord and be rolling in dough. You can't be a man of the Lord and your congregation has a 501c cough, General Young, ISUPK. You know, I heard that through the grapevine that they have a 501c. So, I mean, that's a bad sign. If Esau is willing to give you a tax break for what you're doing, and it's kind of not a coincidence that his congregation is the only one that was stated that you could take the you know what. So it is what it is. But when it comes to this understanding, man, the house of Saul, the house of the wicked rulers, whether it be Israelite leaders, whether it be Christian leaders, whether it be, you know, those who just quite frankly aren't destined to get this understanding because the Most High is not dealing with them, you can't put your trust in them. You can't fall for the mind control. You can't fall for the feeling of, man, I love them and what they're saying feels so good. Because at the end of the day, bro, that's just a deceiving spirit, man. The vast majority of times in this truth, if somebody's not in the truth with you, they don't really have anything to say that's going to really help or benefit you on a higher level. Don't get it twisted. They can't help you from time to time. But the vast majority of things that they say is not going to be to give your soul the ultimate resting place, which is in the kingdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So all you brothers need to remember to trust in the Lord, because at the end of the day, like the scripture said, actually, I want to get that one more time, man. It's a beautiful scripture. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, or Salaki, chapter 31, verse 3. It says, Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses are flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is helping shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. So you got to understand, the Most High is not like Esau. It's not like these women. He's not like these wicked false prophets out there, man. The Most High is nothing but truth, love. He loves his nation. And at the end of the day, all who put their trust in the Lord is going to be saved. Let's go to the book of Sirach. We'll read chapter 2, right? We'll start, I think it's at verse 11. I'll read verse 10. It says, Look at the generation of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion, mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sin and saveth in the time of affliction. That's why you need to trust in the Lord. You don't need to trust in man. Don't put your trust in man, but put your trust and obey the commandments of Yahweh. Because at the end of the day, he's the one who wants to see you do your best. He's the only one that has no ill intent. That's why Yahweh Shah said, "Why callest me good?" There's only one that you can call as good, which is the Most High, because the Most High is the one with pure intentions at the end of the day for his people, regardless of how harsh it may seem that so many people got to die. The Most High and his love for Israel is above all. That's why David said, "I wanted to be in the hands of the Lord above my worst enemies." I would never want my worst enemies to be able to cast judgment. But I allow the Most High to cast judgment upon me because I know that his judgment would never be as bad as what it is for, all these other, wicked spirits out there. And when it comes down to it, the most wicked spirit of all is that of Esau, Edom. But let's go to verse 12. It says, "Woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands in the sinner that goeth 2 ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended." And how can we be defended by the Lord? By trusting in him and by following him. Let's go to Psalms 56, chapter 9. It says, "When I cry unto you, then shall my enemies turn back. This I know, for Yahweh is for me. In the Most High will I praise his word. In the Lord will I praise his word. In Yahweh have I put my trust." Just like they say in the back of the damn fiat currency, in God we trust. In the Most High Yahweh Shai we trust. "I will not be afraid what a man can do unto me. Thy vows are upon me, O Yahweh. I will render praise unto you, for you have delivered my soul from death. Will not you deliver my feet from falling, that I may walk before Yahweh in the light of the living?" And the Most High has already delivered us from death so many times, whether it be y'all not taking the jab, whether y'all not signing that covenant with death, because now they're able to track you and see if you're taking your shots and in the system, whether it be the fact that you brothers are getting the truth and you have an opportunity at repentance, you have an opportunity to allow your sins to be forgiven. You see what I'm saying? Having an opportunity to understand the kingdom and to be able to change your ways, to be sanctified, to be converted. The Most High, and that's just talking about spiritually. There's so many times you could have died in a car accident. A dude could have came and killed you. You could have fell off that plane. The plane had turbulence. He was falling from the sky, but then something just lifted it back up. You don't know how many times I know at least at least a dozen times in my life, bro, where I could have been dead and I probably should have been dead. And half of them was when I was driving the car, but the Most High just looked out for me. And then the run-ins with the police when I was doing stupid shit that I shouldn't have done. And for some reason the police didn't pull me over. He didn't stop me. He didn't test me. And I'm still here today. Lord willing, I'm preaching the spiritual battles, man. So why the fuck would I trust in Esau Edom when he's always doubted me? He's always manipulating me. He's always took advantage of my mom, my grandma, charge these crazy interest rate, build a car that's designed to break and destroy, allowed you to have a system to keep you in debt for the rest of your life. Why would I put my trust in that man compared to the power that says to not even allow usury on your brother, that says to show compassion to your brother, to love your brother like thyself, and that if you will put me above all else, I will protect you no matter what. Come on, man. This ain't, come on, bro. All right, let's go to Proverbs chapter 18, verse 10. It says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it, and it is saved." So that name, man, always remember and understand the association of that name, because it's more than just knowing the name, but actually truly believing and remembering all the times when you called upon the name, especially in the times to come. Because once you get that understanding, because it's going to come a point for y'all brothers, man. We're not in that time period yet where we got to fully move on faith, but there's going to come a time period where a lot of y'all going to be in the dark, whether it's the internet is shut off, whether your car, when you was trying to drive to get to where you needed to go, you running from Esau, you ran out of gas, your car not working, you literally in the blank, and all you got to do is just walk. And you scared as hell. You scared of getting out that car, or it might be wilderness. Let's say it's 2 years in the wintertime. It's cold as shit. It's like 20 degrees. Or let's say, example, you realize like, damn, they just kicked me out of my house. I don't have access to any food. Damn, I have no way of buying food. What am I going to do? You have no clue what's going to happen. And all you literally have is just the name of the Lord to call upon. And you're going to be like, damn, what's going to happen? And then lo and behold, all these things come into play and you start to make it. And then you realize like, yo, it's real. And once that time, because you're going to understand, there's going to be a lot of Israelites when they come into that first time of true affliction. Don't get it twisted. We all have affliction right now. But once they come into that true test of affliction where they're not going to be in society at all, a lot of people in the truth gonna turn back, bro. Because it's very easy to watch a video and watch a live and to read a scripture. But when you actually have to put your fucking life on the line for this, when you actually have to deal with them soldiers, and you have nigga all that, bro, I'll never sell out. All right, bro, we gonna truly see. So that's when your faith is gonna truly be tested, and that's when you're gonna really call upon the name of the Lord. And you might be scared. I'll never lie and tell y'all there's times and periods where I'm not afraid and I don't know what's gonna happen. Sometimes I may have a tear here and there. I'm in my room like, damn, Lord, what's gonna happen? And I just pray, bro. And the Most High just made a way, man. If y'all brothers follow me a long time, you know certain stories that I've told y'all, but I know from experience, some of y'all brothers may have not gotten into that point. Some of y'all brothers have been in that point plenty of times. But at the end of the day, that's just what it is, and that's how it works, man. It's not all peaches and rainbows. But when that time period comes and all you have is that name to call upon, you're going to call upon that name if you truly believe. And when things look grim, you have no understanding of what's to come, something just going to fall right out of the sky. Whether it's the manna, whether it's the water, whether it's the place to sleep, whether it's the jacket, whether it's some random Israelite in the truth who just comes and picks you up and y'all go on your merry way, whether you running and you Esau took you by the cuffs and lo and behold, the nigga forgot to handcuff you, you running, or you might be like Stephen. You might be in the FEMA camp, right? They got the guillotine prepared. You got all this pain in your back. And then right when you pray, Lord, Yahweh, please protect me. Your whole body go numb before the guillotine come and cut your head off. You don't feel shit. You getting tortured. You don't feel anything. That's true faith, man. So let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, and I'm going to close it on this. This is chapter 15, verse 26. It says, for the Lord knoweth all that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. So you're not going to get this protection. You're not going to get these miracles. You're not going to get this true and solid foundation that can't be moved, that can't be rattled, unless you follow the commandments of the Lord. I read verse 75 of 2nd Esdras 16. It says, but you not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your God, and that God of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. So don't be afraid, don't doubt, for the Most High is always your God, and he will always be there with you. So I hope this lesson was edifying. I pray y'all brothers, keep your faith in the Most High, not in man, not in a woman, not in a false prophet, not in a wicked brother or sister or whoever may be holding you back from truly enveloping yourself into this understanding. And I pray that all you brothers, be protected. All you brothers get knowledge, wisdom, continue to grow in the faith and endure until the end. Until next time, I say calm Yasharallah. I'm still getting used to that. And I want to give all praises unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach, Yahweh Shah, Shalom.